He's articulating what many others in the government perhaps feel, given their opposition to the bill in its present form?
Absolutely, Natasha. In fact, this morning and even last night when we reported, there were in the fundamental first sea change that was being conceptualized of making an addition of terrorists in the National Security Act. The cabinet rejected it wholeheartedly, but going ahead and agreeing with the National Investigating Agency as well as with the Unlawful Prevention Act. Now I'm joined by a senior member of parliament, but actually he's been a former top cop of Delhi. He's well associated, Mr. Nikhil Kumar, to really give us a perspective on this entire issue. So what do you believe? Do you believe this is good enough or this is really soft?
First of all, I must mention that the central government has done exceedingly well to first conceptualize a national investigating agency and then bring this bill to make it into a fact.
But fundamental changes of, really allowing the centre to suo moto take over from the state government.
Which is what I was going to say, that we already have a central investigating agency called the CBI. The difference between the CBI and this is that whereas the CBI takes up a case only when it is referred to it by the state concerned, the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act has this provision. In other words, the CBI cannot suo moto take cognizance of any criminal act in a state. It has to be referred to the CBI. Here, the National Investigating Agency has been given under Section 6(5) this power that suo moto cognizance can be taken. Now, there may be some misgiving in people's minds that this perhaps would be unconstitutional. But that is because so far we have treated any act of terror as a mere act affecting law and order. And since law and order happens to be a state subject, the impression all round has been that it is something that the centre cannot intervene directly or take suo moto cognizance. But this centre has taken care to see that this is not covered by item 1 of list 2. It is covered by item 1 of list 1.
But one last point, the onus of the accused as well as police confessions before a police should be made admissible. Those two things have not been included. Why?
The major thing is that the police has to have any accused, meaning any suspect, in its custody for a longer period than what is provided for in the CRPC. And this has been done in the new proposed act. As far as confession made to a police officer, yes, that is missing. It was a very valuable piece of investigating aid earlier, and it has been upheld by the Supreme Court also in the now very famous Kartar Singh versus the State of Punjab case. So it should have been there, and if it had been there, then it would have made for a comprehensive legal provision to assist the investigating agencies.